Welcome back to Mufc Realist TV and the Transfer Corner. My name is Mick Ruby. I am the responsible publisher for this fan community platform, but also a person that worked many years in the football industry as a football intermediate manager, player management and agent side of it. So while we're doing this transfer window podcast series is basically for an educational platform to debunk what's really going on in the transfer market, as football industry is a very shady industry. Do expect a lot of rumblings regarding the transfer market now. You heard the terminology silly season, and why is it so? Because football transfers, what I learned in my number of years from a face value, is a very shady business, right? There's a lot of things that's going on behind the scenes that you don't know. There's a lot of smoke screens in transactions. There's good and bad agents. There's what you typically call the good, bad and the ugly, and there's a dark side of that story, that you need to know. It's simply not a FIFA career mode which you're playing. And in certain ways, like as an intermediate and agent, there's the good side of it, which you offer in 365-degree services, meaning you are totally representing your client. In this case, if we can mention like a Mason Mount, for instance, that's we're going to talk about today. That means that you're taking care of his bills, he's taking care of his PR, his advertising, you're taking care of his image rights. But most important things where you make money is in the transfer market in January and the summer, where you are negotiating for renewals of contracts or player movement. And this is where we are right now at the moment, especially with Mason Mount. From what does that mean from a consumer perspective? Well, it's often kept in the dark that you keep arguing with each other. Is it in? Is it not? Is it a done deal? You start to listening to credible sources, like who is a tier 1 journalist that is kind of a tap-in. We're talking about Fabrizio Romano, Ornstein's, the Disco Telegraph, Coocker, Laura Whitwell, and all of them. You know what I'm alluding to. But it's often that in this industry that you often feel betrayed. Like, you told me this story is happening. Why is it not happening? Well, there's a lot of moving components, right? And often as a trick, what you probably don't know is that as an agent, as representative of a client, if you receive an indication that your client or player is a surplus of requirement, it's normal practice that you go out and find a new employer for your client, meaning you're speaking to a lot of people, creating props, and it's normal that you're creating that. I'm saying in the 365 agreement that you have a bonding relationship with certain publications and journalists which you're collaborating with, in order to say it's a catch-22 situation. I scratch my back, you scratch mine. It's free. It's free PR. So basically I will go to a journalist to say, listen, my player, for instance Mason Mount, is available on the market. There's definitely interest from Manchester United. We are talking about personal terms, but also he's also interested in Chelsea and Arsenal as well. And boom, there you have that circulation spin. The journalist takes that on board, starts publication, spinning, tweeting, and it's a domino effect. If all it takes is one Fabrizio Romano, and the rest will follow. Reporting. And it's just going to be creative writing, rinse, wash, repeat throughout the whole summer. So that's kind of a little bit of a fugazi trick. And do bear in mind, because we are definitely going to look into Fabrizio Romano's report and what everyone was saying. Because one day they say it was a breaking news, personal terms agreed, and till it comes today, no personal terms agreed, if you know what I mean. So I'm here to bring a little bit of a context to it. Sit back, relax, have a sip on your coffee. We'll be back in 10 seconds. So welcome back again. Now, we all seen this story, right? It is yesterday was breaking news. All of a sudden, I was sitting and doing a live podcast stream, and all of a sudden I got a message on my WhatsApp to say, hey, have you seen this? Mason Mount Wow, breaking news. It's agreed personal terms. And then we get the day after something like this. No personal terms done between Mount and Manchester United. So what's it going to be? What is going to be? Just remember what I told you in the beginning of this introduction before we went for a break. Normal practice. Normal practice. Does this have any legs? Take it on the face value. You know, I've been pulling some strings today. And this is typical what happens, right? Chelsea and Mason Mount. Mason has 12 months left on his contract. Chelsea wants £80 million for Mason Mount. That's way too much for a player that hasn't been performing well for at least this season at all and has 12 months left on his contract. They're putting out the Fugazi stories. They are collaborating with agents and intermediates to say, like, you know, go find a new employer for Mason Mount. Let us know what we're going to get. So that's the role of the agent, right? The agent books a lot of appointments, speaks to John Murtough, Manchester United. Typically we'll have a 20 minutes meeting to offer the player to say, look, are you interested to have a meeting with me? I might have a few players that you might be interested in. I know you're looking for a midfielder. Yeah, sure. John Murtough says, come in, let's have a talk, or let's talk over the phone, or have a Zoom call meeting. And there where you present your prospect to say, look, you know, Mason Mount is available, right? He's got 12 months on this contract. And see it like, put yourself in a personal interview, like you're applying for a job, like, you know, and you're working with an agent, and the agent will put forward your CV to the employer, and the employer looked at your CV to say, yeah, let's have a chat to your candidate, right? And this is what's going on in layman's term. So you would normally have a screening call to say, how much money do you want? Does it fit my requirements of budget? When can you start? And this is what you call personal terms agreed. And then you, typical as an employee, you will say, listen to the agent, I will get back to you. We currently have, you know, shortlisted a lot of candidates that we're going to speak to. We get back to you if it's successful or not. But yeah, what can we do about the salary, right? Can we negotiate, because it's a little bit over our budget? Manchester United will not pay 80 million for Mason Mount with the 12 months on his contract. It's pure logical out of the equation. The maximum willing to pay 45 million. On the other hand, they are desperately in need of the homegrown talent quota, which is you need to have 8 players over 21 within your squad, 27 squad, that is homegrown talent. For instance, if you're going to ship out a Scott McTominay, you got to replace something, and Mason Mount is believed to be a better version of Scott McTominay. But is it that something that Eric Ten Hag really prioritizes on his list? Now, I think Mason Mount is kind of like been mentioned, but Eric Ten Hag, I think, has his own set list of priorities, like a Declan Rice or like a Jude Bellingham, for etc., etc. That is a better quality. But in certain ways, if you do get a Mason Mount, what he contributes is a bench player, like somebody that you can pull up from the bench, but it's not a regular starter, like as diluted. If Scott McTominay goes, you replace Scott McTominay with a bench player, like a squad player. So that's about it. So I hope this really explains how it works, because as per normal practice, you know, agents do play a game, right? Agents are there to make money. Agents are there to inflate the price as much as possible. They do represent their own clients, but they do also represent the club, the selling club. And then they are kind of working as intermediate, like they negotiate. And this is just the beginning stages. And of course, today, it even came out that no personal terms has been agreed, right? But Manchester United feels optimistic. They feel that Mason Mount is keen and there would not be a problem. Do you get my point? Right? And everyone is reporting it, you know. He's not completed any personal terms. However, it feels like it's not a problem. Why is it not a problem? Can you please explain to me? Has it been happening? Has it not been happening? I know for a fact there has been a meeting taking place, but if Manchester United is interested or not, I don't think so. I don't know. But on the player agent side, of course they are interested, because they want to generate as much as attention as possible to say, look, my player are talking to Manchester United. Then you will go to Arsenal to say, hey, you know, Manchester United looking, how much? You know how it is. This is the silly season, people. So wake up. Take a wake-up call. But at the end of the day, you know, this is how media works, and this is how the intermediate market works as well. So be prepared for the summer, because it's going to be a busy summer that's going to make you dizzy. And that's what I'm here for, just to give you a little bit of substance, what's going on. And speaking of substance, we got to talk about Fabrizio Romano. You know, a lot of people tend to lean towards those tier ones, journalists, or, you know, they used to be good. They used to sort of tell you exactly, oh, this is on, but why is it so? Are they getting briefed from the club, or are they getting briefed from what I alluded before? You know, you scratch my back, I scratch yours, by agent side. Yeah, it is. That is how it works. But I want to have a look at what Fabrizio actually said, because yesterday he had an exclusive breaking news. Today he says, oh, let's do this, people. Let's have a debunk Fabrizio.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here, as always, to keep...
Hey Fabrizio, as always, good to see you too, Fabrizio. Let's see what you have to say, Fabi.
you posted on the transfer market. And as always, guys, remember that we will touch on all the latest. And today we are on Mason Mount and Manchester United. What's going on? What's the situation? But also Declan Rice. There is a bid in
There's a Declan Rice bid
coming very soon. And I wanted to touch on Manu Kone. So let's jump into it. Hey guys!
So let's jump into it, Fabrizio. So, obviously, he runs a YouTube channel. He tweets a lot. Doesn't get paid for the tweets. But, you know, when you run a YouTube channel, you're actually monetized, you know. And what's better ways to actually get also sponsorship.
Guys, Fabrizio Romano here. Thanks to Top 11 for sponsoring.
Ooh, that's it. Top 11 sponsoring. Yeah, you got to make your living. I understand. Totally understand. I get that. I get that.
This video. Top 11 is a free-to-play trading.
That is a very good top 11. I'm not sponsored by anyone, but you know, that's a good game.
Football management game available on iOS, Android, Huawei, Microsoft and web browsers. Compete.
Whoa, good promotion.
Against other managers around the world for...
Yeah, compete against other managers around the world, meaning what I explained to you in transfer market. You're basically offering your players to other sporting directors to see what you're going to get and who's going to win at the end of the day. Big up.
Trophies, set the tactics, build your stadium and compete in different competitions to see who is boss.
Who is the boss? Exactly. You know, for years people are looking at the tier ones to say you're the don of the transfers, right? Is it so? Or is it just recycling news? Who to believe, who doesn't, who don't to believe? We're here to find out.
So download the game for...
Ooh, download. I will download it. Yeah, for sure. But download this as well, because you're going to unpack what you're saying word by word. My friend. Nothing personal. Just putting it to the context. You know.
Free using the link in the description and get started. You are the manager now. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Let's go. Let's debunk Fabrizio, what he's actually saying. Because he said breaking news and now he's backtracking. Okay. Let's go.
And guys, let me start with Mason Mount. It's an important moment for midfielders on the market. Yesterday, we broke here on the channel the exclusive story.
The exclusive story yesterday, bada bing, Mickey Blue Eyes is telling you, Fabrizio. Yesterday you broke the exclusivity personal terms agreed, breaking news, and now, let's see what you say now.
Manchester City getting closer to signing an important player like 𝒂𝒊𝒄𝒌 𝑹𝒆𝒂𝒍𝒊𝒔𝒕 who is set to leave Chelsea this summer. But from what I understand, guys, the situation looks very serious also around Mason Mount. We know he's a player who remains important for Chelsea. They are trying to extend the contract. Mauricio Pochettino is on it, but it's really complicated. It's really unlikely at this stage. And so what's happening is that behind the scenes, there is a feeling that the agreement between Mason Mount and Manchester United over personal terms would not be a problem.
Well, again, personal terms will not be a problem. That's because the agent has told you and propped in the story. It's not a problem. Is it a smokescreen? Is Manchester United really in for it? Or is it just the agent talk? It's more likely the agent talk.
At the moment, it's not something completed or 100% done. But Manchester...
What do you say? Completed or 100% done? Right? Has the conversation taken place? Or what are you contradicted? Completely 100% done. Okay? Are we coming to a done deal, Fab? Or is it just... Has the conversation taken place? You know, on the other hand, it was a breaking news to say that personal terms is not a problem, yeah? And now he's saying it's it's a problem. Yeah. Why is it a problem? Because Chelsea wants 100 million. Oh no, 80 million, sorry.
Manchester United feel that will not be a problem to reach an agreement with Mason Mount on the contract. They feel that the player is keen to join Manchester United.
Of course he's keen. He's keen to join anything to get playing time. Manchester United is the biggest club in the Premier League. You know, City is there, but they are just fake, according to my opinion, right? Who else to go to, right? And this is what I said. You know, as an intermediate and agent, you know, it's your job to represent your client, to say, would you like to go to Manchester United? Yeah, wow, I would love to play for Manchester United. But the question is, are you good enough to play for Manchester United? Do they even want you? Okay, if there's been some conversation, it's been that screening call, the 20 minutes, just to define how much do you want, how much is, when can you start, when are you available? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? All right, let's go. Fabrizio, let's go.
To join Eric Ten Hag project. So Manchester United are really optimistic on the agreement with the player. But the main problem, the main issue is what's going on between Manchester United and Chelsea, but more in general between Mason Mount and Chelsea.
What's going on between Manchester United and Chelsea? Nothing that I know on that. Otherwise, that Todd Bowley is being a not so good sporting director. All right.
Chelsea in terms of value of the player. Mason Mount is out of contract next summer, but Chelsea have no intention at this stage. Then we know that things change.
They have no intention, of course. This is the gamemanship. We say, well, similar to Harry Kane, right? Then you leave. We say, we have no intention, right? You know, we are risking to run down his contract. But on the other hand, if you're willing to pay us 100 million, yeah, we will sell him. And same thing goes with Chelsea. They're playing this game. We have no intention. Maurizio Pochettino is coming in. Oh, you know what I mean? We see. And that plays a, you know, major, you know, deciding factor as well. Because now, all of a sudden, Maurizio Pochettino is coming in. Mason Mount is probably, look, may I extend my contract? Does Maurizio Pochettino, will he fancy me? There's a lot of things playing in place here as well from, you know, from an intermediate and player's side. Because intermediate look after the player first, the client first, over the club.
In the market, it's still the very beginning of the transfer window, but at this stage, Chelsea for at least 80 million for Mason Mount.
80 million. And yes, valid point, Fabrizio. That's what I agree with you. It's still very early in the transfer window. We haven't really opened yet. So therefore, in this stage, people, you have a lot of pre-agreements and negotiations. So once the window is open, bang, things are moving, right? So it's just aligning everything, shortlisting how much do you want, when can you start, those kind of things. I'm just explaining in layman's terms again. Continue, Fab.
While the intention of Manchester United, for example, at the moment, is to spend something close to 45, 50 millions because the player is out of contract next summer. But
damn straight. And this is confirmed. They are not willing to pay those big bucks money for a average, I don't know, what British media has been propping up to say, wow, Mason Mount, homegrown British talent, 80 million for Mason Mount. You're joking. This is me speaking as a fan, right? You know, 40, 45 million, it's okay. You know, and why should we even buy him for 40, 45, 35, right? If we can't get like, you know, 45 million for a homegrown talent like Scott McTominay or, you know, Elanga or, you know, Harry Maguire, why should we fall for this trap to pay Chelsea 45 million for one player that's got 1 year left on his contract? You see my point.
For Chelsea, he's worth way more than this. So there is a big gap between the two clubs. The negotiation is not easy. People close to the negotiation feel that Chelsea are asking really big money and they were expecting something different. So let's see how this conversation will continue. But at the moment, it's not something easy.
It's not easy. Basically, first meeting, you said, like, you know, when you have that meeting with John Marta, for instance, you say, how much? Yeah, Chelsea wants 80 million. He will go, forget about it. Forget about it. We're not paying for 80 million for a player with 1 year contract. Anyone in this industry will know that you don't fall for that trap. You say, go away. Come back. We are currently shortlisting other players, right? So therefore, it's coming out that, it's very complicated. Yeah. Of course, the agent side is very keen. That's the only side that is keen. And of course, Chelsea is very keen because they want to generate money. 80 million schmackaronis, right? Bada bing, Mickey Blue Eyes, eh?
between the two clubs. On the player and club side with Manchester United looks pretty easy because Mason Mount is keen on joining Manchester United. Let's see how.
Yeah, player is keen, but that's according to what they say. Yeah, but do we know if he's keen to stay on with Chelsea if Pochettino comes in as well? I think Pochettino wants to have a chat with him before, 100%.
How that will evolve in the next days. Let's see also how the Declan Rice story will evolve, because guys, as I mentioned to you, Arsenal still feel confident on this deal. Arsenal are having conversation around this deal because they want Declan Rice. Is the priority target for the club. There is one important thing to say, that Arsenal, after the Conference League final, as I already told you a few weeks ago, and the plan is confirmed, they will submit a proposal to West Ham. This is the feeling. Arsenal want to attack the situation.
They want to attack. They're using very clever words, like, to prop up your emotions. Arsenal will attack. Chelsea will attack. Manchester United will attack as well. Well, you see, this is agent doing his job, basically creating that attention to overinflate the price. Because at the end of the day, the transfer window is short. And this is where you make a lot of money, right? Club makes money, agent makes money, player makes money. And there's also the image rights. Let's do this.
Situation after the Conference League final. Why after the final? To respect West Ham. They know that nothing will happen before the Conference League final, so it makes no sense to negotiate now. West Ham are 100% focused on the final, but right after the break game against Fiorentina, there will be a bid from Arsenal. They are also aware of the interest of Bayern Munich with Thomas Tuchel, big fan of Declan Rice.
There will be a bid for Arsenal. There will probably be a bid for many, many suitors in this case, right? You as an agent, you make sure that you have as many bidders as possible. And similar with the Manchester United sales takeover, the highest bid wins. The best, terms for your agent and client wins. That's the way it works.
But Arsenal are prepared to make a bid to West Ham, and we will see where we go from there. And so guys, let me know your thoughts on all these stories. Declan Rice, as we mentioned, with Arsenal prepared to attack the situation, but also Bayern interest, Manchester United and Chelsea behind the scenes. Many things are happening for Mason Mount. And then, guys, also on Manu Kone and Liverpool. Remember, as always, guys, to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. In the comments, you can find the link to download the app of Top 11. So we wait for you and see you soon with Fabrizio. Ciao.
Ciao, Fabrizio. 100%. I didn't have to say it. Fabrizio said it. It's like and subscribe to this channel as well if you like this content. But let's debunk it. I don't know what to say. At the end of the day, I'm telling you how it works in this industry. But my duty is also to look at what the media is saying. Because at the end of the day, the summer is going to be very, very confusing. And the transfer corner is here to give you, a little bit of calmness to it, from an educational purpose, right? Not here for the clickbaits to say, this is going to happen, this is not going to happen. If we are 100% sure this is going to happen, we are going to break the story to say, yes, this has legs, But in a layman's term, I must say that, I will continue reviewing Fabrizio Romano. I will continue reviewing everything. And I will cross-check with the market as well, with the agency market and intermediate market, if it has legs or no legs. Guys, like and subscribe if you like this content. It's been a very unusual Transfer Corner podcast. But yeah, if you want me to do more of this, to review others, journalists, what they are saying, please drop a DM in the description below or contact me on my Twitter DMs as well. It's been Mick Ruby from Mufc Realist TV. Please like and subscribe, and I will give you back today. Bye for now. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.